Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, and it's another Chat GPT Predicts, and this week they are predicting the next 10 United States champions. Now, at the time of recording, the United States champion is, of course, Jacob Fatu. So from 10 to 1, and as always, number 10 being the furthest wrestler out of a United States Championship run, and number 1 being the person that they think is going to dethrone Jacob Fatu to become the United States champion. It's an interesting list. I wonder, well, Chat GPT has been putting some interesting lists out there for us on this series, and this list, I reckon, will be just as interesting. So without further ado, let's have a look and see who Chat GPT thinks at number 10 on the list. So the man furthest away, but someone that they think is going to win the United States Championship in the near future, or maybe the distant future in this case. And that brings us to Tama Tonga. Now, all images will be used from WWE 2K games, from 25 all the way down to 20, I believe, with some of these picks. But Tama Tonga is on the list at number 10. Obviously, in a little bit of an injury at the moment from Tama. He's been out a while. Certainly got, well, everything ready if he wants to come back in and take that title from Jacob, assuming he's the champion at that point. But I suppose you've got to look at whose side will he be on when he gets back. Will he reunite with Solo? Will he go with Tama Tonga? We've also seen Hikuleo making his WWE debut on Main Event recently. So is Tama Tonga going to align back with Solo? Is he going to go with Jacob? We'll find out. But Tama Tonga is number 10 on the list of Chat GPT's picks for the next United States champion. And it'd be interesting to see that in the future. Right, number 9 on the list, Johnny Gargano, someone who's really been predominantly a tag team star in the WWE. He's done, he's worked with DIY, with Ciampa, especially over the years, and more so recently since sort of coming onto the main roster again. Gargano is one there who actually, if you go look at his NXT run, is very well adverse to singles action. He's very, very good as well. 9 on the list. Yeah, I could see that from Chat GPT. I like that. But I do think he's got the option there. The only thing that concerns me right now, and I know he's a heel, but when he was a face, the crowd weren't getting behind him like he was in NXT. So it's an interesting one to see if he will win singles gold on the main roster, but certainly got all the tools to be equipped to become champion. So time will tell for him. Right, let's move on. Number 8 on the Chat GPT list is Aleister Black, the return of Aleister Black recently to WWE television. He's been in a feud with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. He missed out on Money in the Bank qualifying. I think he may have missed out on the King of the Ring as well. So time will tell with Aleister Black where they're going with him, what the program is for him going forward, what future plans does he have, and more importantly, how long he really has left in wrestling. I think in an interview a week or two ago, and he was sort of saying, he's got a few years left and that's it. So will a single World Championship run at any point in his time be on the agenda? Again, someone that's very, very good, but someone who perhaps hasn't delivered since the days of NXT. We know how great he was in there. Triple H was behind him again, but we go back to what we've been saying on review shows. The NXT call-ups, just even under Triple H, just don't seem to be hitting right. Maybe they will find him with Aleister Black, or maybe he will drop down to the black and gold brand again and maybe find success that way. But Chat GPT puts him at number 8 on the list of people who they predict are going to be the next United States champions. Right, we move on. Number 7 on the list. And this man has been on the list on quite a few occasions on the Chat GPT list, especially in the WWE. I think he was in the Intercontinental Championship list. This is Carmelo Hayes. And again, the uber talented former NXT champion has got so much skills in his arsenal. He's very exciting. Has he been booked right or wrongly since the call up again? You look at that and you can see, well, there's an argument that he hasn't been booked correctly, that he's ate too many defeats. But you know what? Chat GPT always puts him in contention for a championship. So he must be doing something right. And he's very, very good in ring. And to have him at number 7 on this list, I kind of agree with. And I think Carmelo Hayes eventually will win gold in the WWE. Let us know what you think below in the comments for sure, whether you think Carmelo Hayes will eventually win singles gold in the WWE. Right, we're moving on to number 6 on the Chat GPT list, and that man is Tommaso Ciampa. You can see him there holding WWE World Heavyweight Championships. I don't know about that, but again, someone like Ciampa definitely coming to, obviously, his age would put him at the back end of his career. He's had some serious injuries, one to his neck that I remember very well from his NXT days. And again, someone that's had most of his, if not all of his success down in NXT. And I would say that, would I put him ahead of Gargano on that list? I'm not too sure about that. But I do think that Tommaso Ciampa could be a great United States champion, especially as a heel, not so much as a face, but as a heel, he works tremendously well. And it's certainly one that I could see with United States gold around his waist. I just don't know whether WWE would pull the trigger on him for that championship. I suppose in this case, only time will tell with Tommaso Ciampa. But we are now at the halfway point. We get into number 5 on that Chat GPT list, and that man is none other than Montez Ford. This is the guy that for years the dirt sheets, everyone, I suppose even intern in the WWE, are talking about a potential breakout. That's the man right there. Tez Ford he is absolutely sensational. The fact that he hasn't had a single run as champion at the moment, I would say it is, I wouldn't say telling, but I would say is quite surprising that he hasn't had a run as United States champion so far. I think it's an absolute shoo-in that Montez will eventually, whether that will be turning heel, whether that will be turning on Dawkins, whether that will be via other means, he will certainly be a breakout single star in the WWE whenever they want to make it happen. I'm sure that they will. He's a bit like a Jey Uso. He has the crowd behind him as a face. I just don't know if he would be a better heel if he turned on Dawkins or not. Why don't you drop it down in the comments and let us know what you think about Montez Ford. Would he be a better face or a heel? You tell us more than anything else. But that is number 5. We're moving now up the list to the top 4. And 4th on the list of ChatGPT's next United States champions is Damian Priest. Well, he's a former world heavyweight champion. He's on the SmackDown brand. He has been in wars with Drew McIntyre. I don't think it will be too long before he is in contention for United States gold. Damian Priest has certainly come into his own. Brilliant. When in the Judgment Day, he was great. They built him absolutely correctly into that. Obviously, winning the gold at WrestleMania over Seth Rollins a year ago. Had a decent run as champion. Sorry, it was Drew McIntyre that he beat at WrestleMania a year or two ago, and he had a good run as champion on that list on there. And I certainly think that he is somebody who could definitely become a United States Championship, but maybe he's got the bigger gold in his sights. Maybe he's got the World Heavyweight Championship in his sights. Nevertheless, Damian Priest for United States Champion, could absolutely see that happening in the very, very near future. Right, we move on to the top 3 now. And number 3 on the Chat GPT list is Drew McIntyre. I mean, yeah, without a doubt. He's due a lengthy title run. I do think that he should be in World Championship contention, not United States Championship contention. But I understand where Chat GPT is coming from here. He is, without a doubt, over the last few years, doing his best work ever. Maybe ever. Certainly the best work in the WWE. than ever before, and a championship should be around this man's waist. We know, I think, an injury at the moment may be preventing that from happening, but the guy is absolutely tremendous. He's got the great promo skills. He's brilliant on social media with some of his stuff that he's doing. He is a champion. There's no doubt about that. A United States champion? Maybe. Certainly, I think it will happen, but probably more on the World Heavyweight Championship list. But Chat GPT thinks he is number 3 on the list. Let's go to the top 2 now, shall we? And the person that is runner-up on the list is Jeff Cobb. Obviously, no WWE 2K25 figure of Jeff Cobb. He won't be, unless he's a downloadable one later on, he won't be coming on there. JC Mateo, if you want to call him by his WWE name, I'm still sticking with Jeff Cobb. Recently come in. Has he set the world on fire since coming in? No. Is he capable of winning a championship? Absolutely. I've got a feeling I know who number 1 is. And it will be a toss-up between those two, in my opinion, as to who dethrones Jacob Fatu for the United States Championship in the future, or the near future. I'm not sure how long of a run Jacob's got. My prediction would be SummerSlam, that he drops the championship. But Jeff Cobb is certainly one on the list of people who I would have him dethrone Jacob Fatu. But we will see what happens. Let's have a quick recap before we get to number 1. At number 10 on the list was Tama Tonga. At number 9 we had Johnny Gargano. At number 8 we had Aleister Black. At number 7 Carmelo Hayes. At number 6 Tommaso Ciampa. At number 5 was Montez Ford. At number 4 was Damian Priest. At number 3 was Drew McIntyre. Obviously JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb was at number 2. And at number 1, the person that Chat GPT thinks will dethrone Jacob Fatu for the gold is Solo Sikoa. Not a surprise there for me. I think it's definitely going to be out of Solo and Jeff Cobb to dethrone Jacob Fatu. Solo has been... He was kind of in the back of the bloodline. He was like... I felt as if when it was Roman's bloodline that he was the one that potentially could dethrone Roman. I feel like there's been a drop in Solo over the last 12 months or so as he's kind of taken over the reins as bloodline leader, or at least created his own bloodline. But he's doing some good work now. He's quite funny with some of the stuff that he does as well. I certainly believe he will win a championship in 2025. I think that's a shoo-in, and likely to be the man that dethrones Jacob Fatu, as I said, as early as potentially SummerSlam. But what do you think? What about your list? Give us your list. Drop them below. Give us your opinions. Drop them below. And don't forget to sign up and subscribe to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. We are on X at HTT Buckle. They're also on YouTube at HTT Buckle. If you type in Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast at all other social media outlets, you will find our Facebook. You'll find our Instagram. You'll find our TikTok. We're posting. We're interviewing. We've got lots and lots coming up on the show, so keep it locked to the channel. But this has been another Chat GPT Predicts show on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. We'll see you next week for another Chat GPT podcast. But until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.